you are going to get to a point in your career where you're going to probably leave a company because they're not able to offer you what you are worth. Some of you might decide, you know what, in order for me to get what I want to make, I'm going to have to get more education. So a lot of times we see that in the MBA program. A lot of people will quit a job and go back to school full time because they want to acquire another skill set to make them more competitive in the job market. Okay? So it might not be as intense for you right now when you leave TCU, but this is something that I really just implore you all, get comfortable with it. Find a friend, do some role play. There's a ton of negotiation, role play activities on the website. Just play, you know, one of you, the recruiter, the other one, the candidate, and just kind of go through the motions. It's not as easy as you might think, but it's also not as difficult. Okay, here's another one. We need to make sure you're not wasting our time here. I need you to name a number. What's your salary goal? So a good response to that is, oh, this is great. Are you actually offering me the position? Because again, going back to what I said earlier, you haven't gotten a job offer, then what are they doing? Okay. Yes, we are. Oh, okay, great. What are the terms? If they say no, then I would say, well, without having a job offer, it might be a little bit too early for us to start negotiating those terms. Okay. Okay, so how are some of these, how do these resonate with you all? Easy. Does anybody think they would have difficulty with kind of having these discussions or conversations?
I feel like they're gonna hate.
Keep in mind, this is not personal, this is business. No one's going to hate you, no one's going to think less of you. And remember that one slide where I said people expect you to negotiate? Employers expect that you're going to negotiate. And even if you don't win, they expect that you're going to try. But if it feels uncomfortable, then that means that you don't have the confidence to do it. And before you do it, you need that confidence. So I'm not encouraging any one of you to walk into this without a certain level of confidence. And how do you get confidence? How do you get good at anything? Exactly. Yes?
Is there any, I know you said it's like knowing your stuff, I guess, but is there any kind of like formula to help you figure out what you're worth? Like, oh, you have this skill set, you also have these skills, so, well, I don't know. Well, first of all, I'm a journalism major, so I have not only a wide range of things that I've learned, but it's like hard to negotiate salaries for journalism. So I just don't know, like, you know, but I could do this too, so how would you pay me if I could do this on the side or whatever? I just didn't know how to do that without, like, if you have another skill, if that's going to be like a certain percentage more for your pay, if there's any way to figure that out, or if you're curious about anything that can help you do that.
Okay, how many of you have visited your career center? Wow, that's not good. Okay, one of the pieces of data that we have access to, we have access to the National Association of Colleges and Employers salary statistics. So whether you're journalism, whether you're biology, business, communications, we can tell you what the average starting salary for undergraduates or graduate students in that discipline were last year. That's a great starting point. Okay, so if nothing else, if you knew nothing else, if you had that information, you've already impressed that employer because you've researched. Okay, so how do you get access to this database? Your Career Center has the database, and they have access to it. So for those of you who have not gone to, and I'm not trying to push appointments into Meg's office, but you know, you guys have access to all of your Career Center staff, and you should be talking to them about this. You know, May is not that far away. It's going to go by in a flash, and when you graduate, if you don't have a job when you graduate, the further away from college you get and you're in the job market, the desirable of a candidate you are. So May comes, you don't have a job. June, you don't have a job. July, you don't have a job. Well, you're going to be questioned. Employers are going to wonder, well, how's it that they went to TCU and it's 2 months later and they still don't have a job? Okay, so kind of goes back to what I said. I know May is a ways off, but it really is not. And we kind of know that when we go through this process of interviewing, it takes time. It takes a lot of time. Okay, I think I'll probably have like maybe 2 minutes. 5? Okay, great. We talked about using ranges as being a little bit more, effective than giving out a specific number. Benefits, those are things that are negotiable as well. Not all companies can negotiate, but I've seen students where they were able to negotiate an extra week of work off, an extra week vacation time, or they were able to negotiate, the company might pay for you to go back to school and get a master's degree after you've been there for 2 years. Maybe they'll negotiate with you and let you go back to school after 1 year, and they'll reimburse you. Match policies for 401ks. So it's worth a shot. There's a lot of things that probably you'll have an easier time negotiating than your base pay. Okay. Real quickly, in the last 5 minutes, I want to talk to you about something that could very well happen that also requires some negotiation skill. Is when you get multiple offers. So let's say you interview for 5 companies. You rank them 1 through 5. You get an offer from company number 4. Okay? But you really want company number 1. So when you get that offer from company number 4, your first order of business should be to call companies 1 through 3. Say, hi, I'm LaTanya. I'm still being considered for your position. I just wanted to let you know I have just received an offer from X company, and but you are my top choice. So I wanted to find out where in this process I am and what the time frame will be. Anybody have a problem with doing that? Okay, that's pretty easy. Okay. Also, asking for more time. So now company 4, they've extended the offer. You really don't want to accept it, but you also want to make sure that you don't leave yourself in a situation where you have nothing. So asking for more time, that's negotiating. Because in the offer letter that you all have seen, hopefully it's gone around, they put a specific date that if you don't sign and accept by that date, then you basically have rejected the offer. So you call company 1 and they say, well, LaTanya, you really are one of our top candidates. We won't be making a decision for another week. So now I go to company 4 and I say, okay, I'm looking at the job offer. I have to respond to them in a week. So I'm going to ask them for an additional week, because that way it'll give me time to hear back from company 1, and then I can make a decision if I am indeed offered a job from company 1. So you definitely want to be careful with how you do that, because what I've seen happen is students will ask for, they'll be very conservative, and they'll ask for a few days. In a few days, nothing's going to change for you. Okay, so you want to make sure that when you ask for more time and you get it, that that's enough time for you. Because if you have to go back and ask for more, they're not going to give you more. Okay? Ooh, it turned green. Also, the employer sometimes, once an offer is out, they might continue to contact you just because they want to know, are you going to accept this offer? So they might put a little pressure on you, even though you still have some time to decide. I know definitely a few companies in the area that do that. They'll give students a couple months to decide, but they will call the student and check in from time to time because they just kind of want to see where they're leaning. So just making sure that you are prepared for that and that you're able to kind of talk through that without necessarily having them think that you're not interested in it. It's a big decision. And I will tell you, what you accept and what you make when you leave TCU, so wherever that is, whether it's 30,000 or 70,000, that's going to be where everything starts. So if you start off making 30,000, which I think for most of you is on the low end, it's going to take you a long time to recoup the money that you lost because of your lack of negotiation skills. Okay, that's why it's good to research, good to have averages, it's good to have a lot of data to support. And it's also good for you to know what you're worth so that you can pursue those opportunities.